Alrighty, so for our music memories segment, which will be our looking back on albums or songs or musical things from a Gen X point of view, from our Gen X past, because it'll be October when this thing comes out, we settled on Thriller. And I know I listened to it today, and I'm sure Russ did. Clyde, hopefully you listened to Thriller today, like the whole album. I was actually surprised, and my wife said, you will be surprised by the songs that are from the album, and me not realizing that's the album that they came out on. Like forgetting that Beat It came off of that album. I was pretty sure I knew that obviously Thriller and that Billie Jean was on it, but then the Paul McCartney song, The Girl Is Mine, played when I had the album played. So I'm assuming that was on it.
Did you own the album ever back in the day?
No, I was poor, so I only had a handful of albums.
We had the bootlegs that you would get at
might
the
have,
flea
yeah.
market.
Yeah,
So-
I was pretty familiar with it because I listened to it again today and was like, yeah, I remember every single song that was on here.
And every
So-
single lyric, beat, and everything, because that Quincy Jones is the man responsible for practically every hit that ever was. And when you listen to that thing, and it's really popular on YouTube, there in the music producer YouTube community, someone released the raw files to Thriller and Billie Jean and stuff, the actual multi-track files.
Oh.
And so you can find on YouTube a lot of watcher videos. And there are several music producers that watch it, listen to it. They run it through their own Logic Pro, and they experiment with it, but they really zoom in on like how much incredible work, like Billie Jean. It's like 50 tracks of some tracks are just a violin just going doo-doo-doo, that's it, and it's you can hear in one take, you can hear Mr. Jackson doing his thing and his voice going up and down and around, and you realize that, wait a minute, this is one single take that he's doing, because you can see the digital file and you can really hear it. So when you listen to it like that, raw, unfiltered, and broken down, you go, it truly is one of the greatest albums to this day. And when you listen to it from our vantage point, if you haven't listened to it in decades, it pulls it out so that the songs just like come to your mouth, just out of your mouth, and you're like, I don't think I've sung this song in 20 years. How do I remember it immediately?
Yeah, The Girl Is Mine. That was the way it was for me. I was changing a canister light in the bathroom, and just listening to it and just singing along and doing the rap and after loving me, she said she couldn't love another. Doing the whole rap at the end, and
That was so cringe.
they
Human
did a couple.
Pretty young thing.
Yeah, other than Beat It and Thriller, maybe. I mean, not so. I mean, even Billie Jean suffers from this. It's a production style. It's got some layering, but it's very sparse. I don't know if another way to describe it, and it's just really dated when it comes to, because that was a big production style at that time, And I just remember a lot of really kind of lame music that had that same sort of feel to it.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of layering on it, so there aren't a lot of instruments on it. So
No,
you hear
I don't know why you guys are saying that, mainly because when you watch the video, it's like there's 50 tracks to this song, and it's produced by Quincy Jones. So
not every song is like that. Some of the songs.
No, I mean, but if you're talking specifically about Billie Jean, you can still have all of that, but the way it's produced, it may be produced in a flat way so that those things don't necessarily jump out at you. That's like you were saying, you're surprised that there were 50 tracks in it because it's hard for you to pick out those things. But I know
Correct.
what I know what you're
Yeah,
saying though.
because it sounds like a keyboard. It sounds like the main thing you remember in Billie Jean. There's that one riff that, you know, and
Oh, right, when it starts, yeah.
it happens throughout the song. And when you listen to it on these videos with the multi-track, you realize that that's an actual dude on like a violin that's been layered in to all these others, but it just sounds like some dude on a Casio keyboard kind of thing.
Well, I'll
And
have to
maybe
check that
that's a testament to a good producer is that they can take 50 separate elements of music and samples and stuff and make a pop song out of it and make
Now,
it sound easy.
now, and of course, then he's got the few songs on the album that are like showcase songs, like "Beat It." Has got was it Eddie Van Halen on it? He's the one playing the guitar.
Yeah.
So you've got that. You've got, of course, you got Paul McCartney, and I'm looking at who wrote each one of these tracks, um, and just the things that a lot of other people I'm sure would have had. These are memories for them on going on dates. You know, "The Girl Is Mine." You'll want to be starting something, but it was very indicative of the time that it was in. And then, of course, you've got the Thriller video, which starred Vincent Price in it as the guest star on it. But
Well,
wasn't it also?
he did the vocals. He was not in the video.
Well, he wasn't
He had
actually in it.
died, didn't he?
Oh, had he died by that point? But wasn't the video also directed by the guy?
John Landis.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
And it was a big thing because it was being premiered on MTV, but they wouldn't tell you when. And MTV, for you kids out there, used to only show music videos. That was it. No reality TV, no nothing. It was 24-hour music videos. And they were like, it was in the summer, and they were like, it's going to premiere today, but we're not going to tell you. And I remember as a fucking kid being, you know, having to watch all day long, and me and my friend Kevin or Wesley, whichever one, I can't remember, we were outside playing, and we would run in. Did it start? Did it start? And it finally started. And it was like a 10, 15-minute video, little mini movie.
But what is important about it being John Landis? There was actually a little bit of controversy around it. And do you remember why?
What was that?
I remember.
That
Go
was,
ahead, Russ.
Yeah, go ahead.
He was directing that part of the Twilight Zone movie where Vic Morrow and two children were killed, decapitated by a helicopter in unsafe conditions.
Yeah.
Kind of changed Hollywood as forever after that, as far as like safety precautions that need to be taken on set.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he was
pretty
like
much.
banned from directing movies, and so he did this video, I think, and got a little bit of shit about it because was he breaking the ban? Was it an actual ban, or was it like just sort of like a verbal?
It could have been a Directors Guild kind of thing.
I don't remember that ban. I do remember he was sued.
Yeah, I feel like he just couldn't make another movie, or maybe just people weren't interested in hiring him after that. Like he was damaged goods. Because back in the day, I mean, if the studio was against you, you didn't work anymore. Like actors couldn't move from TV to the theater, to movies, and back and forth. But for some reason, I feel like he got actually banned from making movies. I just at least remember that was part of the coolness about it. It was done by, because didn't he also do, was he the one who did American Werewolf in London?
I'm looking at his oeuvre right
I
now.
think so.
I'm going to be honest. I
He
totally
did Animal
forgot.
House.
Yeah.
This dude directed like everything in the 80s,
Yeah.
from Trading Places.
Oh, really? Wow.
Spies Like Us, Into the Night.
Then he was working. He must have gone back to working then, because Spies Like Us. Oh no, Spies Like Us. That's the Chevy Chase movie.
Trading Places. Now this is right after he did Three Amigos. He did Coming to America.
Did he do Ghostbusters? Was that Ivan Reitman?
That was right. That was
Right.
Ivan Reitman.
Okay.
Yes, I worked with.
They both had similar styles.
Yes, yes, they did. All influenced by that. Let's see. Yeah, I think back on it. I think he did. Well, you've got his movies list. Did he do American Werewolf in London, Clyde?
Um, he did
Okay,
1981. He did the Blues Brothers. He did Animal House,
right.
Trading
Because
Places. So he's
because he
part of
repro-
that entire Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase
mhm.
crowd.
Yeah, because they used the special effects to turn Michael Jackson into the werewolf that he was. I remember
Hmm.
seeing a
Yeah,
special on that.
yep. And he did Beverly Hills Cop, and
Oh, well, but yep, it was important. In fact, that movie they did manage because of the way they had filmed it. They did have enough to actually complete the whole movie so you could see it. But when you watch the segment with all the actors that died in that, you can see kind of how the story was truncated a little bit. Um, Although that probably is still a bit grisly that they still used the footage they had to complete the story. Because Twilight Zone was like, what, 4 or 5 separate stories?
yeah, it was classic episodes. There was like 4 episodes that they redid for the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
they redid the William Shatner gremlin
yeah,
on a plane thing.
it's a fan. I love the movie. I think the movie is fantastic, and is some of the best because Spielberg did the movie with Landis, and it's a great movie. It's a terrible story behind the scenes with the children and Vic Morrow, because Landis evidently is kind of a dick, and it was his fault. They were, he drove, rough schedule. He ignored all of the safety. He was overworking the kids way past the hours that are allowed by child labor laws. It was late at night. And he was like, I want a helicopter suspended for the ceiling coming in. And like, that's kind of dangerous, right? You mean a fake helicopter? No, a real helicopter. So
And everything is better now.
everything got
So
better.
everything got better.
He
Well,
did do a
still,
lot of amazing movies.
but that was a great album. I think that's really, that album personifies a part of the 80s. So, yeah, we'll continue to do different albums and different art forms and different TV shows as we go along. But I definitely want to keep doing some of the album stuff.
Well,
Uh,
just to let you know, that album, that video is actually responsible for like MTV success. I was just reading about that changed how people viewed the value of music videos on a channel. It really showed that it was, here's like one of the first music videos that's like a short film done by a major Hollywood director with the biggest superstar on the planet dancing in a werewolf costume with dancing zombies, and it was awesome. And we did that damn dance, and everyone had that zipper jacket, and everyone mimicked that dance and film at proms and everywhere. I don't
You know
know,
where you went to get that zipper jacket?
merry-go-round,
That's
didn't
right.
you? I
hey,
I I, I
way to
didn't.
bring it back.
I couldn't wear it. We remembered there was a scene in Beverly Hills Cop where he walks past the person wearing the zipper jacket and starts laughing because he's the Detroit cop in LA. So it's
Hmm.
a fish out of water kind of story. And the you cannot understate the influence that album, that look, music, and that video had on pop culture at the time. It's enormous, and I think today I don't know of any. There's not many musicians that have such a explosive effect on so many people at one time. And I think it's because of the internet and instant satisfaction. We've got 1,000 people that are influencing at any given moment on that kind of level. So it's like it's Lil Nas X or Lizzo or Taylor Swift. I mean, back then we had the radio and MTV.
And we lost your video. So All right. Thanks again for listening, folks. We can't wait to do this for you again. Hopefully, it'll go a little bit smoother next time. So, bye, guys. Peace out.